is that we go into this third and final race with the grid set by the finishing order of race 1, which is a blessing in disguise for McConville, but it's taken away an opportunity for Cedars to earn back some points on Harris.
And it means that Cedars and Harris are coming off road 2 side by side in the championship deciding race. So we are in for one cracking final V8 Ute race for 2012.
Reece McNally starting 14th, the Stratco Commodore. They've re-signed Stratco, in fact, for another 2 years. Great news for them. Fonzie Mullen's car got absolutely belted from pillar to post. There's a range of cars that won't make the start of this race because of the damage from, well, I was going to say race 2, but the race 2 we had that wasn't really race 2, because there is no result, no points. Effectively, it's not in the history books because we didn't have a result. So
it's basically like a corner and a half.
Yeah, it was really, wasn't it?
Like
yeah. NZ Drivers' Championship, here is how it is. 9 points between Harris and Cedars. 1 race to go. If Harris finishes in front of him, it's academic. He wins the title. Nathan Pretty, 36 down, cannot win because you can only get 35 for a race win. So race 2 took away another chance for him to maybe snatch the title. Nevertheless, final race of the championship. Title on the line. McConville going for another win. Nathan Pretty trying to stop him. And the title fighters are on road 2. Cedars and Harris. We get running to turn 1. 10 laps ahead. Oh, who's your money on?
It's certainly going to be an interesting championship battle, but have a look at them all locked up into turn 1, further back in the field.
Craig Donis, Newlon in car. He went the long way on Ryle Harris and he got by. So really good stuff here. Harris is bottled in between Cedars and Dontis.
Have a look at this angry pack into turns 2 and 3 for the first time. Cedars manages to get through on Craig Dontis, so he pulls in behind the Mango Credit Falcon. Looked like Chris Walton might have gone through the chicane there. But look, McConville, he has absolutely blitzed them off the start line this weekend. Another textbook start.
And it's that cold tyre pace once again that is setting up the Bundaberg Commodore. Look at them leaping over the curbs. Harris is getting racy. Dontis covering at turn 8. And Harris has not been afraid to lunge up the inside there in the previous race.
So you saw that was definitely his favourite passing opportunity on the circuit, and he is right on the back of the Thirsty Camel Commodore. But look at, it looks like McLeod and Hansford going at it into turn 9 over the bump, so very difficult braking area. But, oh, Ryan Hansford, pretty tough on the brakes there. He managed to stay in front of McLeod, so I thought McLeod had the line there. But Fisher giving us perfect images of what's going on in front.
Just saw a shot there. You've got the train station to the right. Back to the left is the pavilion where the V8 Supercar indoor paddock is, but this is the rumble. This is the fight. McConville's clearing away. Pretty, Cedars. 4th is Dontis, then Harris, then Walton. It's not enough for Cedars. He needs Harris to be further back. He needs to get up past those Commodores and score those extra points. At the moment, I don't think he's got enough speed.
Well, certainly McConville and Pretty have been the class act of the field all weekend and have been very quick, so something's got to go for Cedars. But have a look at Ben Dunn. He's all over the shop. He doesn't know which way he wants to go, so
I've got a funny feeling
he's on the inside now, he's on the outside.
I've got a funny feeling he was defending someone behind and then went back to the racing line, but at least he can see out the windscreen this time.
So he's following Jeremy Gray, who in turn is trying to have a bit of a go up in front, but Dunn, great pictures from on board that Falcon.
And he's chasing Wayne Wakefield, who made his return to racing in the last round at Winton. First time he'd been racing in 6 years. The former V8 Supercar and Super Touring driver that made a Mazda 808 wagon fly around Lakeside back in the day.
Just got a glimpse of Fonzie Mullen at the back of that group as well, so great job to see him back out after sustaining what was quite a bit of damage in that race 2 incident.
Kim Jane at the tail of that pack that we just saw there, his quote from race 2 was, "They need their heads read." There was so much craziness going on. Jared McLeod here moving across, covering the NZ in-car with Andrew Fisher. Oh, Jack LeBrock's in the gap. Hey, he's a Formula Ford kid. They've roughed him up this weekend, but I reckon he's going to give some back. He looks like he's learning this thing.
Well, this deal with having a roof over his head will be completely foreign to him. Obviously, the Formula Fords that he's used to, little open-wheel cars, but also he'll probably be enjoying the fact that he's able to lean up against his fellow competitors, because in a Formula Ford, you do that, you rip a corner off, whereas that's encouraged in V8 Ute racing. So back on board with, oh, here we go, Todd Zani in the fence. Looks like down at turn 9. So
oh, I think he's okay. there's not a scratch on it. Maybe a small ding that nothing that you couldn't be able to get rid of. Here we go, turn 9.
Done it all on his own and just given the ball a bit of a kiss. So
could have been a lot worse.
Just a little bit too hot into turn 9. Very difficult braking area, as we've pointed out, and just a little rub on the wall. But back up front now with Cedars and Nathan Pretty. Looks like Cedars has got a bit more speed on in this third and final race, and he's trying to do everything he can to get in front of the Monster Commodore.
McConville again, he's cleared away, he leads. There's Pretty, Cedars. Ryle Harris is just back behind. Donis next, then Harris. 5th place, where he runs, will give him the title in 2012. He's not going to be just happy with running there because he wants to put the pressure on Donis. He wants a few more points. Looking back from the Thirsty Camel Commodore, and the young Queenslander has done a very, very good job this year. Winton was a blip on the radar. He hasn't quite had Cedars' pace this weekend, but he hasn't had to. He's been close enough.
And close enough might be good enough for that championship, Noons, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this break.
David Cedars is fighting for the 2012 V8 Ute title. Welcome back to Sydney Olympic Park. We're on lap 4 of 10 in the final race of the championship. He is chasing, he's pushing, he's probing on Nathan Pretty to try to take second place, but even if he gets it, James Moffat, he needs more, and he needs Ryle Harris to slip further back in the pack if he's to win the title.
And the way Cameron McConville's going out front at the moment, that might be a bit of a tough ask for Cedars to get past Pretty and then catch McConville. But on board here with the Auto One guest car, Chris Atkinson behind the wheel, of course, former World Rally Championship driver for Subaru, amongst other things, and he's not completely foreign to tarmac driving. He's done the Bathurst 12-hour before, but certainly this will be a different experience for him this weekend in a V8 Ute.
And he's been right in the middle of the pack, qualified 15th in race 1. He's got the box seat here to a pretty good fight that's going on between a couple of the veterans, Jack Elsgood and Gary Baxter. Elsgood, the hustler forward, in the gap. Excuse me, I'm coming through.
That's not going to work.
Right into the tyre bundle.
Beautiful, so perfect timing to be on board with Atkinson then. And Elsgood tried to go up the inside, and that's really not a genuine passing opportunity around this circuit. So we saw that didn't come off for Jack, and he'd be a bit frustrated with that.
Walton and Jane are continuing to fight for 6th and 7th. Cedars is keeping that pressure on Nathan Pretty. The Monster Energy Commodore has been a good, solid performer this year, and that's what Pretty's been over his career, whether it's Enduros in V8 Supercars at Bathurst, or winning the Bathurst 24-hour, or even being a jet boating world champion. Nathan was that good. The former cab driver for Wodonga knows how to steer. He's
always been very good at bringing a car back in good condition, whether that be the V8 Supercar endurance races or the V8 Utes. And had it not been for a difficult round at the Gold Coast for him with a couple of mechanical dramas, we might still be talking about him in the championship picture.
He won the round earlier on in the year, round 2 at Simmons Plains in Tasmania. And I asked him coming into this round, we mentioned at the top of the show that the top finishing Ford and Holden drivers will get tests with the Holden Racing Team and Ford Performance Racing respectively in 2012 model V8 Supercars. And I said to Nathan, well, you've been there, you've done it, you've raced for HRT before, you'd give it to a young guy, wouldn't you? And he gave me a devilish grin. I don't think he's going to. Auto One replay of Elsgood and Baxter.
He's been very vocal throughout the year on the parity of the two cars as well, but another replay there of...
Well, we got parity right in this problem. One Ford affected, one Holden affected as well. Another replay, Danny Bazadzik getting into Warren Millett. That was all a little lazy, but they all managed to get away with it.
Oh, check out Millett keeping that going.
It's clearly the last race of the season.
And McLeod with a big lock-up. He was no way going to make that chicane, so he opts to go straight on. But I think, Moons, what we're seeing here with Ryle Harris, I think he's just happy to sit back in 5th position. He knows that'll be good enough for the championship the way things are. We've seen him have a couple of little looks up the inside of Craig Donis at turn 8, but he's not doing anything silly.
Hansford in 8th, under pressure from Jack LeBrock, as we mentioned. He won the Formula 4 title this year. He's pretty keen to step up into the Dunlop Series. Had a V8 Supercar test recently for Matt Stone's Dunlop Series team at Queensland Raceway. Warren Millett is in dramas again. The wake-up Commodore's parked at turn 9.
So I wonder if he's done that on his own or... Oh, bag her up, Warren.
The sponsor is Wake Up.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's the last race of the year. So
yes, and you can tell that we've got a few months before the opening round at the Clipsal 500 in 2013. But Reece McNally there, a little lock-up in the Stratco Commodore. They are puzzled with this car this weekend. No pace. They're just mystified. They won a race here last year, and they're struggling to get out of the mid-pack this weekend.
Well, we saw him have that accident on his own in race 3 at Winton, so maybe there's been something quite not right with the repair on that car, and the team haven't quite picked up on it. But you're right, it's unusual to see him struggling like he has this weekend.
Oh, this looks willing.
This looks like a bit of trouble.
Yeah, this looks like trouble. Hansford, LeBron, listen to Fisher. NZ in-car, pounding the curbs. This is the run through the bus stop section. Normally during the week, this is a bus stop. Today, though, there's no one stopping. They're getting into it down at turn 8. And then this roller coaster run down Dawn Fraser Avenue, of course, named in honour of the Olympic swimming legend, and Novotel Hotel to the right. If I look close enough, I can see my room from here.
And have a look at LeBrock now, trying to sneak up the inside of Hansford. So we mentioned this is Jack's first time in a V8 Ute, and he's doing a fantastic job so far.
On board with Ben Dunn, chasing Wayne Wakeford. I think I heard tyre bundle there.
Sideways.
Looking back. He's been a long time runner in the V8 Utes. Ben Dunn has had a win or two here or there. Qualified 16th this weekend, 17th in race 1, and well, the race 2 that wasn't a race 2, he ended up pitting with a bonnet that was covering the windscreen. It's a much clearer view in this final race of the season with just a few laps to go. Wakeford looks like he's missed a gear, and here's an opportunity for a run.
Here we go. Ben Dunn still up to changing lanes in the braking area. Wakefield's got that thing absolutely maxed out under brakes. But doesn't this onboard footage just give you an idea of how busy it is around this Sydney Olympic Park street circuit?
Yeah, there's not much time to rest, and it is quite narrow. This is the chicane at turn 2. We'll take our final break. We'll run through to the end afterward. Cam McConville leads. Royal Harris is on target for the title. Plenty of action in the final race of the season at Sydney Olympic Park. Gary Baxter in the Sage Commodores trying to get to the pits on the Auto 1 replay. Josh Hunt was trying to pass him at the same time.
So we saw that damage that Gary sustained with that incident with Jack Elsgood down at turn 5 and 6, so that's why he's returned to the pits.
Here's our title leader. There he is, Ryle Harris in the 58 Falcon. He's on target. He's just got 3 more laps to go at the end of this one. Kim Jane keeping the pressure on Chris Walton, and if he was really kind, he'd give him another whack and get rid of that rear bumper so he wouldn't get a black flag.
But this is the time of the race now for Ryle Harris. Time of the championship where he'll be... Oh, here we go. What's going on here? A bit of an Auto 1 replay. LeBrock up the inside of Hansford. That was never going to work.
LeBrock, Lagon, locks the left front.
And he was lucky not to take out Ryan Hansford with him, so Hansford losing a spot in the process to Fisher. But back on Ryle Harris, he'll be listening to that car as closely as he can. He'll be hearing every sound coming out of that Falcon and just hoping and praying that it lasts for another 3 laps.
Had a very good mid part of the season. He won the round at Hidden Valley, then he won the next round at Bathurst. He's been a contender all season. This one's not done with between Walton and Jane, but Harris can sit there. Doesn't need to make a move on Craig Donis, doesn't need to do anything silly. There's David Cedars, the number 8 Falcon, sits in 3rd spot. Yes, he scores back a few points, but it's not enough to overcome the 9-point deficit coming into this final race.
And I really think he's just sitting back there, happy in 5th place. I've been impressed with his approach to this weekend. He's shown some aggression when he's needed to at times in the weekend. Winton, for example, was a really bad weekend for him. I think the championship was getting to him. He was thinking too much about it, and it affected his driving. And it was his worst weekend by far of the year. Whereas this weekend, he's sort of been a little bit back to the Ryle Harris that we've come to be used to.
And I tell you what, if he wins this title, I've seen this man on the dance floor. He's got some serious moves. He can cut shapes, this guy. He's got a couple more laps to go. He's got to maintain the focus, maintain the intensity. In fact, this one's going to be called 1 lap short, so he's got 1 lap less to do than we thought he would have had to do. But Cam McConville, has again grabbed them by the throat and choked the life out of the field. He's been way too fast.
And what a fantastic way for McConville to, I guess, send off the sponsor of that car, Bundaberg Rum. They announced recently that they won't be coming back next year, so to go out with a victory, not only in the final race of 2012, but this will be back-to-back round wins for that Bundaberg Commodore. So fantastic way to end off what has been a great association.
And the temperatures for this final race a lot kinder than we saw in race 1.
Oh, we've got trouble here for Cedars.
Yeah, Cedars slowing. Big drama here. This is perfect for Harris. It won't change things. He just doesn't need to trip over him if he's got a car problem. Donna sweeps on through to go to third. What's going on with Cedars? Did he miss a gear? Did he have a gremlin? It's a little strange. It's not pulling off that turn. He's slipping back, and Harris will get him. This will seal the deal for sure. This will put it.
Will be very sweet for Harris. He slides up the inside of Cedars, who has an obvious problem.
Well, obvious. He almost got him one in the bumper at turn 8. Now he's got to struggle. Walton goes through. Kim Jane will line on up. So the challenge, it's been a brave fight from David Cedars. He's been fantastic again in 2012. He should be very happy with how he's fought it out, but it's all come undone in this final race. Cam McConville is going to take 2 from 2 for the weekend. 4 of the last 5 races in the championship. He's come storming home, and he's going to have some fun. McConville picks up the race. He picks up the round. Nathan Pretty, great job. The Monster Commodore is on the podium, but Ryle Harris has done the deal. He's the champ in 2012. The young Queenslander has been working for this for years. He's finally done it. Well done to Ryle Harris and Big Gun Racing.
A fantastic job by Ryle Harris all year, and of course his Big Gun Racing crew. Look at him, he's got the fist pumping out the window, he's wrapped.
Oh, that'll be going on at the Detzel later on, I'm sure. He finishes 4th, that is enough to seal the deal. Kim Jane 6th, Cedars next from Fisher, Charlie O'Brien and Ryan Hansford rounded out the top 10. The Ute title is done in 2012. Harris is the champ. And here's the round points. McConville, Pretty and Cedars will stand on the podium for the weekend. Harris good enough for 4th. Walton 5th from Dontas Fisher, Hansford Jane and Charlie O'Brien.
Well, Cam, a top 5 in the championship, but more importantly, a round winner, and what a, I guess, an end to the season that you've had.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic end to the championship. You know, full credit to the Bundy Racing team because we had a big hit in the reverse grid race and they straightened it up. We came in to win the championship, but we lost a few points at the start of the year, had a DNF at Darwin, that hurt us. But look, I've had a great couple of years in the championship and going to miss it.
And McConville bounces his way up to 5th in the points at the end of the final round. Harris wins, 12 back to Cedars, Pretty 3rd, Fisher 4th, but we have a new champ.
Well, Ryle, you really wanted this championship. You were hungry right from that opening round, and you're there.
Yeah, we did what we needed to do in the last race. I just stayed out of trouble. The last 3 laps, I stayed away from every curb because last year, obviously, we lost the title due to the curbs. But, you know, it obviously worked in the end. It doesn't matter if you win it by a point or 100 points. You know, I'm the new champion, and I can't thank the team enough.
How are those emotions? Is it sunk in yet?
Oh, the last couple of laps are really emotional. The last lap, I really wanted to do it for Joey and his wife Mo. They lost their little daughter this year, and you know, I'm dedicating the victory to them. Without Joey, you know, he puts in so much hard work throughout the week. At Big Gun Racing, like I said, they gave me a lifeline last year, and I've rewarded them with a championship. I'm over the moon.
Yeah, great job from Joe DeVries and the entire Big Gun team. And they don't just win the championship, they've won some other awards. Peter Burnett in another of their cars picks up the SS Inductions Hard Charge Award and $500 for passing the most Utes in race 1. Craig Donis takes the Champion Spark Plugs Whole Shot Award for the best race start in race 3, the Thirsty Camel Commodore. Chris Walton, the Renco Ford driver, seals the deal. He wins the Rookie of the Year title for 2012. But the round win, 2 in a row. Cam McConville, the Bundaberg Commodore, came on strong in the second part of the year. But the man of the moment, there is no doubt, Ryle the Kid Harris is the 2012 Auto 1 V8 Ute Series champion, protected by Armour All. It's been another stunning season in 2012.